Hey guys, and welcome to Film Artsy, your #1 source for all things films and movies, and we've been tracking the DCEU and more specifically Zack Snyder's Justice League cut for quite some time, and something that's been a campaign by fans for years and years. Finally, it was turned into reality when it was announced that HBO Max would be greenlighting this version of the movie to be turned into a series over on their streaming service. And now it looks like we have an official release month, which is way more than we knew just a few weeks ago. And it is something very exciting that we wanted to talk about and what implications this specific release date will have for the future of the DCEU, because it's going to mean a lot of things more than just it happening to release at this time. So let's go ahead and jump into this. And real quick, we wanted to give a huge shout out to our Instagram page. If you guys didn't know, we just passed over 8,000 followers over on Instagram. So we'd really appreciate if you guys headed over to our Instagram, scrolled through some of our posts, maybe hit the like button and followed us over there. We do a lot of really interesting content. If you love comic books, the MCU, DCEU, whatever it is, if you just like movies, it's a really cool page. We've been working really hard on it, and it would mean the world to us if you went over and checked it out as well. But before we fully dive in, huge shout out to our DC Thursday winner. If you guys didn't know, every single Thursday we ask a challenging DC related trivia question over on our community tab. So if you're interested in participating, make sure you're subscribed and leave a comment with your answer on Thursday for a chance to have your comment featured right here on our channel. Okay, so we got the official news that the brand new Zack Snyder cut for Justice League will be releasing in March 2021. Actually, much sooner than a lot of people had suspected, though there were a lot of rumors and speculation. It was looking for an earlier release in 2021 to kind of make up for the lack of films that were released in 2020. So that in itself is very interesting. We're seeing this March release, and we're finally starting to see something more solidified. But what this could mean for the larger grand picture of the DCEU is actually a really big deal. Essentially, with this movie finally releasing, we've gotten confirmation on multiple fronts now that this will be an override of the original Justice League film that released, meaning that there's a potential for so many different movies and storylines to be absolutely altered and changed because of how this movie will rewrite a movie that's already released. Now, fortunately enough, it doesn't look like too many of the characters that appeared in Justice League who've appeared in films afterwards will have to worry too much about their storylines being drastically changed, though it will leave the door open for a lot of characters that have been in limbo or kind of in a more controversial state where we haven't really known too much about what they could be getting into in the future. Like, for instance, Ray Fisher, who plays Cyborg, there's a big question mark over when his movie would ever come around. And then with the fact that there were so many discrepancies between the original vision of the character and what we saw in the actual theatrical film, a lot of directors and writers may have been having a lot of problems figuring out where to take the character. And then there was also issues with the Flash not really having a schedule available or even maybe a story with a mapped out future for the DCEU just yet. But then all of that started to change earlier this year, and it looks like we're going to see a Flashpoint movie much sooner than later. So it does seem like a lot of these things that are being set in motion by the Snyder Cut being announced and now being released are having very positive impacts in the overall DCEU. And it is kind of interesting to see that they are now taking the opportunity to choose to actively rewrite the movies that may be detrimental to the franchise as a whole, which surprisingly enough is something we think is a pretty good idea all in all. But we do want to turn this around to you guys with this March release, and now we know for a fact that DC is willing to straight up retcon, overwrite different stories. Is there another story in the DCEU you would like to see completely written over? We're thinking that first Suicide Squad movie would be really interesting to see a version of that, but maybe even other films along the way could use some touch-ups here and there if they see some sort of definitive re-release later on. Let us know what you're thinking in the comments down below though. Be sure to subscribe and notifications on for more videos like this uploaded every single day of the week. That's it for today though. We'll see you all next time with a brand new video.
I'm about to.
Hi everybody.
Hey everybody, how you doing?
Hi.
See you guys.